So, a listener texted the Bloomers in the Garden hotline and asked questions about moss. Here was their text. Can you give us the background on moss in lawns and on trees and how to attack it? Pretty aggressive. All right, so why does moss grow in the lawn? First of all, a pH has got to be changed. It's an acidic pH. Moss likes an acidic pH. If you're growing moss instead of grass in your lawn, the conditions are right for moss and probably not right for grass. So let's break it down. The pH is low. And in this area, whether it's New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, we have a naturally acidic soil. We also have to deal with acidic rain. So acid rain comes from Philadelphia, blows over to South Jersey. That there's the New York area up in North Jersey. They deal with it, and that also makes our soils, whether it's garden soil or whether it's your lawn or your landscape, naturally acidic. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something you need to adjust your pH every single year. Because if you don't do anything, it's going to get more acidic and more acidic. So you basically put down a lime, or what we prefer is Jonathan Green Magic Cal, which that will also add calcium. And that will bring your pH back up from, say, a 5.5, 6 to the 7 where it needs to be. So you want your pH to be 7. And the moss won't like that, but your grass will. So next thing is, have you been feeding your lawn? I would bet not as often as you should. A lot of times it's low fertile soils, and that's the problem. And even more importantly is that if it's compacted, if you have like just damp soil, obviously moss will grow there, but it's the compaction issue where if it's well drained, the moss will dry out and it will not live. Shade, moss likes shade. Again, it doesn't want to dry out, so it likes that. So what do you do? All right. So those are the things that the environment that you need to change, but there are also things that you can buy. Moss Max, which I have right here. If you're looking on YouTube, please subscribe and please ring that bell for us. And if you're listening on podcasts, we'd appreciate a review. So Moss Max is a chemical moss killer and is not necessarily a long-term solution. You need to change those other things. You need to raise the pH, better fertility. You need to do maybe a little bit of cover of, say, soil amendment lightly so that it works its way into the soil. One thing that I saw, we had that real heavy rain early this week. I had earthworms that were out of the ground crawling on my driveway. And it was a happy sight to see, because that means that, first of all, my soil is healthy and that those earthworms are working in the ground, making it more better draining, and it's adding more organic matter because it's basically eating them up and spitting them out. You know what I mean? In any case, so Moss Max from Bonine. Again, it will kill moss in the lawn. And again, what's interesting is that this is an organic product. It's not inorganic. And that the way that it works, you've got to make sure that you use it when it's dry. And you want to make sure that it's going to be dry for a couple of days, because you don't want to do any heavy irrigation after you apply it. It comes with a hose end, so you just basically put your hose up to it, screw on your hose, and you spray it. Like any chemicals or fertilizers we recommend, we want you to make sure that you're reading the entire label before you do anything, okay? We don't want you to use it wrong and have the opposite results of what you're looking for. You'll be surprised, because the Moss Max will also make your lawn, all of a sudden, it'll get this deep green, which is a great thing. And it works pretty quick. You know, you're going to see results within a week or so. But that's the one thing. With moss, it doesn't really disappear. It just may die. And then it's like you have, old carpet on your lawn. You have to get rid of it. In order to reseed, you can't just put seed on top of the moss. You have to get to the soil. We talked about this last week. You have to get the seed in contact with the soil. So you've got to rake that moss up. Doing it when it's still green, basically, this is probably the wrong terminology, but you'll understand that you're just leaving the remnants of the moss to just grow again. If you're killing it first, it's all dead, and then you're just getting everything out, and you're preparing it for seed. You can spray this on your house. If you can spray it. Now, the question was about trees. Now, my guess is that they have moss growing on the trees that they want to get rid of. If you're putting it on the trunk of the tree, not a problem. Do not go and spray the foliage of the trees. Okay? Big difference. And you can, again, it's used around gardens, parks. You can use it anywhere. Roofs. You have a shady house where you have some issues about moss on your roof. This will take care of it. Now, again, without correcting the real problems, which is compacted soil, was low fertility, and especially the acidity problem. You need to put down lime and get your pH checked at your local garden center so that you get it adjusted to where it needs to be. And it needs to be at 7. You need a neutral pH for your lawn. And that's where this moss is coming from. It's saying, hey, what a great place to set up shop. And that's what they're doing. So if you make it so that they don't like the area because it's made for lawns, not for moss, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. If you've got any questions about moss, lichen, this also will control lichen. You know those white little flecks that you see on the trunks of your trees? That will take care of that. Please call the hotline. You know that number, 609-685-1880.